skip this intro.
We made it to 2026. What do we got in the first week? We're invading Venezuela. We got soccer moms getting shot in the street. What could we possibly do to bring the nation together? We need a killer monkey movie. That's right. That's why we're going to watch Primate. And we're going to watch some monkey dick ripping. So in this movie, we got Lucy, a young student, coming home from vacation. And she's bringing friends with her. Why? Because her home is on a gorgeous Hawaiian island. This looks like a mansion. She's coming home. She's got a deaf dad. She's got a dead cancer mom. The dead cancer mom left behind a pet monkey that she was working with, apparently. Too bad in this movie, that monkey gets rabies almost immediately. This movie doesn't waste any time. Enough with the blah, 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 blah. We want to get right to the monkey throwing people off a cliff. The monkey ripping some dude's jaw off. It gets right to it. Now, I'm from Connecticut. We know about pizza. We know about monkey attacks, or at least one poor lady in the state does. Yeah, so don't keep monkeys as pets. It's a bad fucking idea, in movies and in real life. So, back to the monkey with rabies. I didn't know this, but the movie takes time to point out rabies doesn't exist in Hawaii. So, however, this little weasel critter that bites the monkey in the beginning of the movie, I don't know how it got rabies. There must be a backstory we missed out on. What also doesn't exist in Hawaii is apparently indoor lighting, because this movie is like 90% in the dark. And I'm guessing that's because of the monkey. Obviously, they didn't use a real one in this, and it's too low budget for a CGI thing. So I'm guessing it's either a kid or a midget in a monkey suit. So they had to keep that lighting just right. But it is really weird that nobody in this movie, like, when the deaf dad comes home from a long travel where he's worried about what's going on with his daughter because he hasn't heard from her, he walks in the door and doesn't turn on any lights. Like, who does that? Who walks into an immediately dark house? Because lurking right behind him is going to be that vicious monkey. The idea of a killer monkey, though, is great in this movie. He is a great villain. He's absolutely vicious. He's out of his mind. And, you're scared of him the whole movie, but there are points in this in the movie where you're actually rooting for him, because there's a part where like some douchey frat guys show up and just kind of wander into the house, and you know immediately that they're just going to be great kill fodder, and it's what you want in this movie. And the movie also has a killer soundtrack. Like, kudos to whoever is behind that. I didn't look it up yet to see who it is. It's very, reminiscent of the 80s, and if you know who, Tangerine Dream is, it kind of gives you that vibe, and it really brings together the feeling of this is just a slasher movie, and they replaced, the Freddy, the Jason, the Michael Myers with a monkey. So it's quick, it's to the point, it's an 80s slasher, all dolled up and new for 2026. It's great. I give this movie a high recommendation. This is a good way to start the year. The only thing it's lacking is nudity, but you didn't want to see monkey balls anyway. How's this for the start of a movie? Oops. The United States accidentally sets off some super weapon off the coast of Tasmania. It's like an EMP or some new advanced super weapon. It goes off completely by accident, and it kills 500,000 people. It burns cities to the ground. Oops. But some of the people come back as weird zombie-like creatures, and that's the beginning to We Bury the Dead. So at the start of the movie, you've got Daisy Ridley. Remember the chick from the new Star Wars trilogy movies? So she plays an American who's flying all the way down to Tasmania to be a volunteer, and kind of like an unwanted volunteer too, because as you can imagine, they're not too friendly to Americans at the moment when 500,000 people are dead. So turns out you need a lot of volunteers to clean up 500,000 corpses. And as I said, along the way, some of them get back up. And they're not like the zombies in a George Romero movie where they're stumbling all around, they don't want brains. And they're not like 28 days later. They're not running after you with blood flowing out of their eyes. They're just kind of there. They're just they don't know what to do with themselves. But the creepy aspect I found in the movie was they all do this teeth grinding thing, and the sound is nightmare fuel, and just that grinding of teeth until they're shattered and jagged. And apparently the longer they stay awake, then they start to become more hostile. And it turns out she's not there just to volunteer out of the goodness of her heart. Apparently, her sort of estranged husband went on a business trip to, of all places, Tasmania when this event happens. So she's all distraught. She's going to try and find him. And even if he is somehow alive, is he a zombie? So she recruits this guy. They take a motorcycle and they're riding into like the worst part of where the incident happened. So there's burning cities. Just like every zombie movie, the real fucked up people are the people left behind. So along the way, she's going to run into a police officer who's trying to, arrest her for like trespassing out into the danger zone. If you're going to watch this movie, you're going to find out why he's the real fucked up one. So clearly, I thought this was a horror movie. It is not a straight horror movie. It is more a sad kind of drama about people thrown into a terrible situation. And it has a couple of like good action-y sequences that you want to see. But the zombies in this movie are not like any zombies you've ever seen before. So I'll give them credit in the zombie genre where they spit out hundreds of movies about zombies. This is a little bit different. It's almost like they're trying to use the zombies as a metaphor for like a person's unfinished business. And there's a zombie you run into late in the movie that kind of exemplifies this. And you kind of wonder like, wait a minute, can these guys think? Are they not just dead in the head? That they're trying to finish something? So if you're open to it, I would say this is definitely a movie you should wait for streaming. I don't know where it's going to wind up. It's in the theaters now, may already be out of the theaters. It's a very low budget, low key movie. So, but because of the strange aspects, I would say if you're a horror nerd like I am, or if you're interested in just like the weird take on zombies, give it a chance. So imagine some guy walks up to you and shoots you in the shoulder. And as you stumble away bleeding, a cub sidles up to you and all of a sudden wants you to be its dad. That's kind of where The Bear starts. This movie shouldn't even be called The Bear. It should be called The Cub because it's more a story about the cub. And in the first 3 minutes of the movie, the cub's mom or dad is like kind of cartoonishly squashed by a giant rock because it's digging for honey. And in the opening moments of the movie, you're just watching this little bear cub, it's a baby. It doesn't understand that its parent has just died and it's just sitting around eating honey on this bear corpse. And this little baby bear doesn't understand anything. So eventually it's just like, well, mom's not moving. I'm just going to wander off into the woods. And it wanders off. It eats some magic mushrooms and has some sort of fucked up experience. You get to see inside the little bear cub's dreams when he sleeps. And it's all these it's basically the events that happened to it just previously, but it's all done through stop motion, which makes it kind of creepy but funny. So back to the bear on the cover, right? This is the one the hunters shoot in the arm at the beginning of the movie. This poor bear is just like, standing on its hind legs, eating berries off a tree. And the hunter, I guess, he wasn't that good a shot because he didn't get the kill shot. He just kind of wings him in the shoulder. And he gets pissed and he runs off bleeding. The cub kind of comes to soothe the bear. Like, he's kind of like licking his wounds to kind of try and heal him. And I guess in the end, they got each other because they start off all fighty, but then they become good friends and they're kind of hanging out together for the most of the movie. So I know in animal movies, obviously you're going to root for the animal. The animal's the hero. But in this movie, the people aren't the scumbags that you think they are. This is a movie that takes place in like the 1800s. So these are hunters out trying to make a living, out there just surviving. So it's kind of like I don't know, there's a message to the movie that is more like a live and let live kind of thing. The cover kind of gives it away a little bit though. There's this great moment where these two kind of match up at a waterfall, and there's kind of a equal moment of understanding where the hunter could have killed this bear at some point, but he sees the baby bear. The bear could have easily just swiped this guy away in an instant, and he doesn't. So it's very interesting. There's almost no words in this movie. There's very little dialogue speaking. You're just hanging around bears the whole time. And the director of this movie, his name is Jean-Jacques Annaud. He actually made a movie, I forget if it was before or after this, that also had like little to no dialogue that was about cavemen. So this is like a recurring theme for this guy. He likes to make these, it's not a silent movie. Obviously, you hear the bear noises and all that. Like, especially the cub. Oh God, the cub is gonna make so many annoying little baby whimpering sounds throughout the whole fucking movie. You're gonna hate it. But that's not gonna say you're gonna hate the movie. So maybe you're interested in this movie because it's outside the norm of every other movie. It doesn't have dialogue. It's mostly you just watching a bear trying to survive, or watching hunters in the wilderness trying to survive. So I'll give it that it's something unique. You definitely don't see movies like this every day, and that's the main reason why I would go back and check out something like this. The good news, you don't have to spend a dime to watch this movie. If you got Tubi, and Tubi's free, it's on there. Throw it on. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for watching Quiet Corner TV, Red Hood Movie Reviews. You keep coming back, I'll keep watching, and I'll keep talking. Talk to you later.